This video is about my involvement in the Calgary 1988 Olympic Winter Games. In the early middle 1980s, when Calgary applied for and was awarded the 1988 Olympic Winter Games, I came up with a plan. I would take aerial photos of all the Olympic sports venues from the beginning of construction through to completion. My hobby in photography was now a second career, and I started a company in Calgary specializing in aerial photography, where I did my own flying and shooting. This is a photo of Calgary's city core, with a city hall in the center of the photo. This is where it all began, at the present Calgary City Hall, with a new city hall under construction in the background. Calgary's Mayor Ralph Klein and Olympic officials were officiating at this flag-raising ceremony and making the official announcement to the public and media from the steps of the old Calgary City Hall that Calgary had been awarded the 1988 Olympic Winter Games. Mayor Ralph Klein is behind the podium on the right. Calgary's official Olympic mascots, Heidi and Howdy, were also in attendance for this official announcement. I started photographing the venues with Mount Allen in Kananaskis country. Mount Allen is located lower right, with Kananaskis Golf Course in the upper left. At the time of this photo, Mount Allen was still in its natural state, untouched, with development scheduled immediately. Months later, I received a report that tree cutting on the ski runs on Mount Allen had started, and that cut brush was piled in windrows in the center of the ski runs for future controlled burning, as you can see in this photo. A couple months later, in the fall of November 1984, after a few weeks of snowing, I returned to Mount Allen to take photos of the runs with snow. The first stage of Nakiska site, on the lower left, was cleared and waiting for development. With the entrance to the site, vehicle parking areas now cleared, and building locations established, construction was now in progress. All construction was on time with Nakiska and Kananaskis Village nearing completion. With less than a year remaining before the Olympics, I planned my last flight of photographing Mount Allen. While passing overhead, admiring what will now be a renowned world-class ski destination, this upper location of Mount Allen under construction is the future site of the top of the runs and chairlift. With all the runs on Mount Allen now cut and developed, I was successful over a 4-year period in acquiring all the photos of Mount Allen that I needed, and I proceeded to photograph the remaining venues. We will now depart Mount Allen and fly northerly up the valley for a few minutes, until we reach the town of Canmore. Canmore's Nordic Centre Provincial Park site will host the cross-country skiing at this Calgary's Olympic venue. As we get closer, and now beside Canmore, the Olympic venue at Canmore Nordic Centre is now visible in the distant center of this photo. The first of many cross-country ski trails are now distinguishable and heading in a direction to your right, through the trees and the circular clearing northbound, then on for a few more kilometers. This site in the foreground was accommodation for the construction crew and equipment prior to the Olympics. This site was also the Olympic village for media, athletes, and Olympic officials that preferred accommodation closer to this venue rather than the drive back to Calgary. Canmore Nordic Centre is in the background of this photo, and the arrow at the top right is the direction of the cross-country ski trails that follows the base of this mountain range. Now let's descend and get some close-ups of the Canmore Nordic Centre. The next 3 photos I took from a helicopter. This photo is looking north. The spring ice is still on the reservoir lake, and the Nordic Centre is the beginning of the ski trails that follow the valley of the mountain range on the left. This photo is the opposite end of the Nordic Centre, looking south, with construction still in progress. This photo of the Nordic Centre is looking west towards Spray Valley Park in the background. We leave Canmore Nordic Centre and set course for our next venue. Canada Olympic Park ski hill, located on the west side of Calgary, was originally named Pascapoo and had been in operation for decades. When I arrived Calgary in 1959, I skied this hill for the first time after the first month's snowfall. It was one rope tow with a couple of runs. A year or two later, the rope tow was replaced with a PAMA lift, and the runs widened. The hill remained as is until the date I took this photo. When Calgary first received notice that they were awarded the 1988 Winter Olympics, plans and development were immediately started to take place at Pascapoo. Construction was now underway on the ski jumps, ski hill, luge, and the bobsled runs. Pascapoo was renamed to Canada Olympic Park, and most all of the venues completed. The intersection of the number 1 Trans-Canada Highway and the entrance to the venue was updated, as seen in the foreground of this photo. With more venues on our list, we now leave the completed Canada Olympic Park and pick up heading to Calgary City Centre Core, as our next venue is located on the south side of the Calgary Stampede Grounds. The Calgary Exhibition and Stampede Grounds is well known for the world-renowned Calgary Stampede, which advertises the greatest outdoor show on earth. The grounds of Stampede Park host a variety of rodeo entertainment and a racetrack for horse racing events. There is a grandstand with a variety of stage and concert entertainment, and there are daily chuck wagon races during the 10 days of the Calgary Stampede. The Saddle Dome is home of the Calgary Flames ice hockey team and facilitates ice hockey, figure skating, corporate meetings, concerts, and other social events. The Saddle Dome was selected as one of Calgary's Olympic venues for ice hockey and figure skating. We will leave the Saddle Dome venue in its first snowfall of the season and proceed to our next Olympic venue. As we fly over the University of Calgary campus, the site selected for the Olympic Oval comes into view of the center of this photo. The site is currently football fields and tennis courts. Construction on the oval has started in the lower right, and the University of Calgary campus is center left of this photo. This overhead shot gives a view of the extensive construction work on the oval. The oval is near completion, with the football fields and tennis courts relocated to the lower right. The construction of the oval roof is partially covered, and the interior development is underway. The Olympic Oval and the surrounding grounds have been completed. Winter has arrived, and the Oval is awaiting the Olympic speed skating competitions. This completes the construction tour of the Olympic Oval. We now proceed to our next Olympic venue, which is in sight and located center of this photo. McMahon Stadium was the Olympic venue that hosted the opening and closing ceremonies of the Calgary 1988 Olympic Winter Games. In this photo, we have McMahon Stadium in the lower center, University of Calgary campus above, and the Olympic Oval to the left. I took this photo during a football game between Edmonton and Calgary, which usually fills the bleachers. In this photo, I took the same day, looking a different direction with the Olympic Oval top right. Winter arrived, and McMahon Stadium exceeded its all-time attendance of worldwide visitors and athletes during the Calgary 1988 Winter Olympics with the opening and closing ceremonies. Accommodation for all those associated with the Olympics was now required. The Olympic Village was to be located on this empty lot that I surrounded with arrows. As this village was for the Olympic athletes, their trainers, and officials, I now refer to this site as the Olympic Athletes Village. The land was cleared and the construction has started on the village site. Mount Royal University is in the background, and the abandoned Lincoln Park RCEF Air Base is on the right. On completion, vast vehicle parking areas were developed for transportation buses. The athletes were to be transported by bus from this village to their assigned venues for their competitions. Additional accommodation was required for the media personnel, such as newspapers, magazines, radio, and television, that were attending the Calgary Olympics from various countries worldwide. Construction on this site started immediately. This Olympic Media Village was located at this new subdivision on Broadcast Hill and will also be available to accommodate additional athletes, their trainers, officials, and various dignitaries. Transportation for the athletes from the Olympic Athletes Village in Calgary to the various venues, then return, were provided by bus. This was the first fleet to arrive. After servicing, they were relocated to their assigned location and routes, and more buses were added to this fleet. In the event a bus went mechanical, a bus from this compound was to be a replacement. The highlights of a competition is the evening medal award ceremonies with all-day live entertainment. A site was selected in Calgary City Centre and located directly across the street from the Calgary City Hall. This site was named the Olympic Plaza. The site was immediately cleared and construction started. With the Olympic excitement of everyone in the city growing over the years, I wanted to take part in the full event. So, I applied as an Olympic volunteer and was assigned a position in broadcast relations. I mediated at the Archie Boyce Arena every morning and the Calgary Olympic Plaza every afternoon and evening. The stage for the medal presentations is located center photo. During the Olympics, the plaza's surrounding streets and avenues were closed and filled shoulder to shoulder with excited spectators. Olympic Plaza was an outdoor open-air venue. All Olympic volunteers had a full uniform consisting of a toque, jacket, gloves, pants, and boots. All these passes were to allow me onto the grounds, into restricted areas, and into various buildings in Stampede Park during my morning shift. Also, all areas of the Olympic Plaza on my afternoon and evening shifts. The medallions on the top left were awarded to all volunteers at the closing of the Olympics for making this event one of the best Olympics ever. I received 2 medallions as I was assigned to broadcast relations at 2 venues. Intermingling within the spectators, the volunteers could be identified by their uniforms. My position in broadcast relations at the Plaza was primarily to ensure that the television cameras and professional photographers had full unrestricted view of the ceremonies on stage, and the crowd did not infringe within the fenced-off restricted areas. I also escorted the medalists to and from the stage. I then came up with another idea. I had over 100 photos of 6 Calgary Olympic venues. Using one photo from each of the 6 Olympic venues, I decided to make an official Olympic poster. I submitted a sample, and it was approved. It was added to these already submitted posters, and all were marketed during and after the Olympics. I used a large overall Calgary photo looking west, towards the Olympic venues. On this, I placed arrows indicating the venue location, with the numbers corresponding to close-up photos of what the venues looked like along the bottom of the poster. I requested my name be added to the poster, and it was approved. The Olympic Committee modified my design and added the Olympic rings, Olympic snowflake, 5 Olympic colors in the square arrows, and the Olympic mascots, Heidi and Howdy. Thousands of posters were printed. The Olympic Committee named my poster Aerial Venue. Although being fortunate over the years having many of my photos published, this Olympic poster was the pinnacle of my success. I retired from aerial photography, proud and pleased I had participated in a world-class event. My fellow volunteers and myself brought pleasure to many participants and spectators. This concludes my participation in the Calgary 1988 Olympic Winter Games. I hope you enjoyed these historical photos from the past.